Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to June 1st pre-market live session. And we have a lot of exciting news, a couple of interesting tickers to watch. And let's get started. Let's start the week, the month strong. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Awesome. All right, so let's get right into it. All right, so let's start with the overall market. What is happening in the overall market? The S&P 500, Nasdaq, both are looking pretty strong. The futures, the ETFs, they're all looking very strong. SPY is at all-time high, and it gapped up. Qs did gap up as well and touched all-time high and retraced back down. A couple of Nasdaq or SPY, Nasdaq, S&P 500 posted its 9th straight winning week in a row, which is crazy, right? And NVIDIA had the news, and it's basically leading the tech, the semi names, and it announced it wants to expand into personal computer processors, right? That is a big shift in the market, and as a result of that, Microsoft is moving higher, and it's actually technically filling the gap, which I will talk about. We've been waiting for Microsoft to just fill this gap and push back up higher. And it's basically filling the gap in the after hour and pre-market session and technically fill the whole gap. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in a second. Crude oil is higher, up around 3.5%. WTI, right, pushed back up. It was around like 84.5, and then again it pushed back up, hit around $90, and then it retraced back down again. So basically we held this 85 demand zone again on crude oil. There is still uncertainty around US-Iran negotiations, and President Trump requested stronger language around Iran's nuclear materials. So, despite all the geopolitical uncertainty, the market is really strong. Dell introduced a redesigned XPS. So Dell is at all-time high, if you don't remember. Dell is just on fire. It gapped up from 310 all the way up till like 430, which is massive. And it had another catalyst here as well. So Dell 402 and 446.7, definitely on watch for a possible continuation here, right? For a possible continuation above this zone, or I will just set alert as well, or a possible gap fill scenario, because we have a massive gap here right below us, right? What happened to the, all right, we have a massive gap below us. And that would be it, I guess, for the news and the catalyst related to the tickers on watch. Now let's take a look at S&P 500. What is happening here? SPY, we are at all-time high. We had this pullback, and then like for 2 weeks straight we're just like running non-stop on S&P 500. What is happening right now is basically a similar price action like a Friday, right? Very similar to Friday. We gapped up and we held the zone, and we technically started consolidating. We gapped up today in the pre-market. We are holding the zone, and we are pushing back down a little bit here as well. So we'll see if this candle bounces back up or not. One more thing about the economic events. So for the day and for the week, For the day, we have a couple of economic events scheduled for scheduled for 9:45. PMI manufacturing and ISM manufacturing at 10 a.m. So be careful around 10 a.m. When you are basically trading. Make sure you either don't have any position around 10 a.m. or you are ready to manage your position very fast. On Tuesday, we have jolts. On Wednesday, we have we don't have we have PMI report and employment report. So ISM service index as well. So around like 9-10 a.m. again, we have around 8 a.m. 9:45 on 10 a.m. On Wednesday, we also have a couple of important reports as well. And on Thursday, we have jobless claims. So that would be about the events for this week. On the earnings side, if I can bring this up here, on the earnings side, we have today we had SAIC, and during the week we don't have a lot of interests, like not crazy names. There are a couple of interesting names like PANW, like AVGO, right? Like CRWD. But today we don't have any major name that is worth mentioning. So nothing for today, but for the next couple of days during the week, we have a couple of interesting names to watch when it comes to earning plays. Okay, all right. So S&P 500 is pulling back down here. We are seeing a consolidation right now, and the price is basically pulling back down. In smaller time frame, you are seeing some sort of sell-off, but technically we are just pulling back down. Now, if this continues, we might hit this 754 zone. Now, 754 is the first key demand zone, and then we have this 752. If in case these two levels don't hold, we can sell off and push lower and retest this 749, 750 level as well. But we are really far from there. The main critical demand zone would be right around this 754. And if it holds, there is a possibility of bounce here on SPY. Qs, the same scenario, right? On the Qs, we are seeing the prices inside Friday's range, okay, and it's pulling back down, rejected all-time high of 742-ish zone, and it's pushing back down. The key demand zone is right around this 734, 733, which is way below the current price on the pre-market. The reason I have this level is because like there is the price can push back down a little bit lower, and there is room for a pullback on Qs as well. If that happens, we still have a massive demand zone, and with this strength in the market, the possibility of hitting these demand zones and bouncing back up is a lot higher than just seeing a massive drop. If this level cannot hold, then yes, we're gonna see a good probably drop from this 733 down till 725. So keep all of these levels on watch, and don't try to guess the next move. Try to watch for the price action confirmation and then go from there. Okay, so SMH, Dow Jones. Let's talk about Dow Jones as well. Dow Jones had this beautiful strength here, had a massive rally, pushed all the way higher, hit this zone of 505 and consolidated, broke above 509, and now look what is happening. We broke out of 509. Now we are retesting this 509 level again, and there is high chance of hold here right on Dow Jones. Okay, so keep that level on watch if you want to focus on Dow Jones. SMH at all-time high. What is happening? We're just consolidating here, right? We are just consolidating after this massive rally, and like what we saw here, basically it was basically a bull flag technically. Now we are here for now forming a triangle right above this 583.4 all-time high on SMH. So pretty important ETF, and it's consolidating really well. As long as it holds this 580.82 level, this strength is still there, and on the news side the strength is still there as well, right? So let's take a look at a couple of tickers. Apple, it's just consolidating right in this range of 307, 314. So it needs to get out of this area for a better, cleaner price action. Tesla is pulling back down after this rally. We retested this zone on Friday, 428, and bounced back up really well. And again, we gapped down, and we are right right at this area that it held on Friday, right around this 428, 427. Now, if this level keep holding, there is a high chance of bounce here and continuation. In case we break below this zone, like the last time, we can drop. We can go down till 416 and then have room down till 410. And then we'll see if it will bounce around those areas as well or not. If you see here, we have this trend that is that was basically from where April 8th 9th. Yeah, we had a reversal and then retest of this trend, push back up higher, hit 450, and then retested this trend line, bounced back up, and now we can technically retest this zone as well again. If that wants to happen, we technically need to break below this 428 first. That happens, we can go down till 422 and then test this 416.15 level on Tesla. All right. So yeah, Tesla on watch, and we'll see how the price action will be when the market opens. NVIDIA is holding in between 210 and 217.18 zone. The key resistance 218. The key demand zone that it held pretty well above it is around this 210. We are in the middle. So in the middle, the best trade is not trading and being patient, in my opinion. If we get out of this 218, that's where the momentum kicks in and we can go for a good trade on NVIDIA. All right. Google actually broke down below this 380 level, and well, below this zone we have room down till 365, and there's a gap down till 355, 356. So Google is weak, looks weak. The price action volume also confirms that this was a massive drop with volume, and we are out of this range. So Google is weak, and in case of seeing some sort of weakness pullback in the market, Google can drop. So keep Google on watch for a possible bearish scenario. AMD, the key demand zone is 480.45, and then we have this 506 and 515.16 resistance zones on top of AMD. So it's trading in the middle of the range. It pulled back, so there is a high chance of seeing a pullback, retesting these areas, and continuation. That would be interesting to watch on AMD. We'll see if it will be happening or not. If this pullback happens, this would be a pretty strong pullback potential, because we will basically retest the previous resistance, and if we hold there, then that would be the zone for a possible pullback for a possible continuation on AMD. It's really crazy, but it is happening, right? So the momentum is still there. So as long as it's there, we can trade it, right? Intel is a little bit weaker than the other semiconductor names like NVIDIA or like AMD or like MU, and it pulled back down. This is a big demand zone, so you want to wait for this demand zone to This is the demand zone, right? You want to wait for this demand zone, price action around this demand zone to see if it can hold or not. Meta actually holding in this range, it broke this structure and now formed this structure of 620, 640-ish zone, right? So we have this structure right now. In case of breaking out of this zone, this would be an interesting setup to watch. MU is at the all-time high, gapped up, insane, crazy name. We're at $1,000 right now. And yeah, 385, 985 would be the demand zone. The resistance is 1,026.27. So yeah, I mean, it's at all-time high, right? So if it pulls back down here around these areas, that's a good zone for a possible bounce if that happens. And yeah, Microsoft just filled the whole gap, which is not really that good because this could have been a good setup in the intraday, but it filled the whole gap in the pre-market. Now, yeah, so if we actually, there isn't really anything left in this whole gap play. So the only thing is that if it holds around this 460-ish level and bounce back up, it might have room for a possible continuation. But with this whole gap, it's a little bit, yeah, it's like not that interesting anymore, you know. So there are a couple of scenarios. We might fill the gap, right? If that happens, basically below this, maybe, yeah, below this level of 460-ish level, we have room down till maybe 450. So that's a gap fill scenario. If you want to wait for more confirmation, maybe below this 455 can give you a $5 gap down till 450. In case of hold and pushing back up higher, well, yeah, we have a cap around this 472.3, and then 476 would be the end of the gap. So a little bit tight, like compared to how it could be. But yeah, we'll check out the price action. The best way to plan for the trade is just wait for the price action. There are technically 3 scenarios. If the price can technically stay stuck in between 460 and 470, we will be just consolidating and chopping around. In case of a weak movement and break below this 460-ish zone, this gap play would be interesting. In case of a bullish momentum, we have this wall right above us, right, of like 473.4 and then 477.6 and 480. And if it continues, definitely it will be a strong bullish move for the next couple of days as well, because we are basically getting out of or above the 200 SMA on the daily chart on Microsoft, and the chart will look bullish and potentially will give some interesting setups. When we were around these areas, if you remember, I said Microsoft can and will bounce back up, and it is happening right now. So pretty strong name, and I think it will give us some great opportunities for the day and the next couple of days. Some individual tickers, PLTR also is running, and it hit around this, I can move it a little bit, around this 162, 163-ish zone, right? So this is the zone that it hit, and it's 200 SMA and daily chart as well. So it gapped up, but it is right below a massive resistance zone. So 163 would be the key zone on watch for a possible bullish move, and around this 158 and then 155 level on watch for to see if it can hold as a demand or not. It's a really tough zone right now. Yes, it had a massive rally, but it needs to break this strong wall of resistance in order to move higher. So just because we gapped up, it doesn't mean that it will go higher. Just make sure that you understand that this 162, 163 is a big resistance zone. You technically don't want to go long right below resistance. We can wait for the price to break out of this zone, hold strongly above the zone, confirm the fact that the buyers are in control, and then go from there. All right, that's about PLTR. And also Dell, I mentioned Dell as well. Another name would be HIMS. That could be interesting to watch maybe for the next couple of days in case of in case of seeing some sort of strength. We are seeing the price is holding really well above the 25 level, and in case it bounces back up, breaks out of this bull flag, and especially gets above this 31.32, this would be an interesting name to watch. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for listening to me. We are gonna do pre-market live sessions every single day except Wednesdays, and I'm going to trade live with the team. So if you want to join us, check out the description below. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment below if you have any questions. Thank you. I'll see you guys in the next one.